Business Spotlight, brought to you by Cross Rhythms and Baba Baboon.
I'm Sonia Farrell. This is Business Spotlight in partnership with Cross Rhythm City Radio and Baba Baboon. Joining me in the studio this week, we've got Emma Cartlich from Precious Pets Wedding. Now, Precious Pets Wedding has been going since 2018 and it's a wedding dog chaperone service. Emma, hello.
Hello.
What is a wedding dog chaperone service?
Okay, so dogs are family and basically we plan, coordinate and take all the stresses away so a couple could have their fur baby at their wedding. So full day pet care, we dress them up in all the lovely outfits, they can be meeters and greeters, coordinate the ring bearer, achieve loads of stunning photographs that they'll treasure forever. And we can even do evening pet sitting too.
Where did the idea come from? Is it because are you a dog lover or a pet lover yourself?
We both are, but my husband's crazy, like the dog whisperer. I'm sure he's half wolf, I'm not joking. Every dog loves my husband. But we were approached by a couple of friends and family to have the dogs at the wedding, 2016, 2017. My hubby trained to be a fully qualified dog groomer, and I just had this idea and I thought I went to a wedding show, asked would other people want the dog at the wedding, and we were 6 deep. People queued all day to speak to us. So
Wow.
I thought my clock started to tick and I thought I'll launch this, and the rest is history. It's just been fantastic.
So the rest is history. So started in 2018.
Yeah.
Now, from starting the business, you know, we're now going into, well, we'll be in 2025.
Yeah.
But since starting the business in 2018, in your experience then from doing this, how have you seen how weddings have changed over the years?
Yeah, so more specifically, everybody wants a dog at the wedding. If you've got a dog, people want the dog there. But there's restrictions regarding venues, and also getting like the registrars on board. So it's about educating and also photographers. Again, making sure that brides pick a dog-friendly photographer. It's more about the venue side of it, because when we first started out, everybody was like, no, you can have a few photographs outside, but that dog was not going inside that venue. So when there was a professional service coming along with the dog like us, venues realised actually they're missing out. We had one couple book a £20,000 wedding and the venue said, no, the dog's not coming. They cancelled that wedding and booked a dog-friendly venue. So that's how important it is about having their dog there.
Wow. I mean, like you mentioned at the beginning, you know, pets can be like family. We've got a little dog called Betty. Aww. And she is our little baby, so to speak. So, I can actually relate to that in a way. Would I have had her at my wedding? I don't know. We did have dogs then, but that was many years ago. But I can see being a pet owner myself, why people would want to have their pets involved at a wedding, you know, on their big day. But do you get some people who are still a bit like, whether they're guests or anything at a wedding, do you get them who think, what on earth are these people doing? Or is it just welcomed with open arms now?
It's really welcomed, yeah, absolutely. It's like a one big expensive day for the dog. That dog takes over the wedding. They come like the starring, when all the guests turn up, everyone's super excited that the dog's meeting and greeting. When it runs down the aisle with the rings, everybody's like, people are crying. The emotions are unbelievable. And it just makes the day. Everybody said how much it makes the day having, and they couldn't imagine, the brides and grooms couldn't imagine their day without the dog. And that's what made it perfect for them. It's so lovely.
And venues, you know, you mentioned venues when you first started, they were very limited to offer this service. So how have you seen how venues have adapted? Have they adapted again because of this demand?
Absolutely. Oh God, they have to. And it's about the really all over social media saying that they are dog friendly, because again, there's a lot more competition now for dog friendly venues. There wasn't before, but now there is. So people are constantly pushing about having the dog there, because that's what the demand is for people to have they want the dogs there basically. So and also allowing dogs into ceremony rooms, that was a major no. But then again, there's professional service, and we ensure that obviously, and part of what we do is having those important meetings with the registrars, and you've got like the serious side of it to make sure that they know exactly what's going to happen, and then obviously we work with the coordinators to make sure it's all stress free and streamless.
And, is it like with hotels as well? So there's a venue which is like, a hotel where the bride and groom or even their guests are going to stay over. Are them venues now more sort of open to allowing dogs to stay over? Have they got their own rooms?
Yes. So again, a lot of wedding venues and certain hotels have designated dog-friendly hotel rooms because, again, sometimes what we do is pet sit till midnight in the mum and dad's room or a relative's room, but that room is dog-friendly. And then when the wedding's over, they've partied all night long, we do the exchange of pet care. But yeah, there has to be a demand there for dog-friendly hotel rooms as well.
And what is the process? If somebody is, out there listening and they are even thinking or planning a wedding, they may have thought about doing this, they may not have at this point. But what is the process of actually going through in that planning stage then to actually have your pet at the wedding?
Yeah, so firstly, check are we available, because we try to do an exclusive service, so 1 wedding per date. We then do a no obligation consultation over the phone or Zoom, and we go through absolutely everything, try to formulate a draft plan of using our services at a particular venue with the dog. We send the quote over. If they're happy, obviously they book our services, but then it isn't like booking a cake or flowers. We have to do a mandatory meet and greet to get to know the couple, get to know the dog. More importantly, the dog got to be comfortable with us. We've got to be happy. They even have a little wedding dog WhatsApp group for the day. So we send them updates, checking on the dog the night before. And even like we do some behind the scenes on the day. So we document what the doggy's day was like and send that all to the couple on in the WhatsApp. So it's an update tool, but also reassurance tool, post-wedding tool, but yeah, it's the pre-meet is so important, and if we have to do 2 or 3 meetings, that's what it takes. Everyone's got to be comfortable, and that's so obviously more importantly the dog.
Do you have a say then in as well, even the outfits and different things like that?
So we work with 10 of the top UK suppliers who basically their businesses are to make wedding attire. So we've got like discount codes, and then what we do is put the couples in contact with them, because every dog is different size, every wedding theme, colour. You can imagine, you'd have to have a whole warehouse of outfits to lend out, but we literally just guide them to all these different suppliers, and they can choose whatever fits their style of wedding, colour, dog, etc.
If there was somebody, who couldn't actually do it for whatever reason, what are the restrictions if their dog is, is it if they don't settle with yourselves, or is it if the venue, or if it doesn't settle at the venue? Is there any restrictions there? Right,
yeah, so not every dog is suitable to come to the wedding, okay? Some might be elderly, very nervous. Sometimes we will literally do, and we offer an alternative, which is a wedding day pet sitting service, and that isn't just for the couple. We've done that for mum and dad's dog, auntie's dog. So a couple of weekends ago, a lady come all the way from Scotland. Her daughter was getting married in Leek, and who's going to look after her 13-year-old dog, like the mum's dog? So we did the pet sitting. So her mum enjoyed her daughter's wedding all day and all night, knowing that their elderly dog was cared for by us. So again, we can offer that service, or we'll do a 4-day pet care and then just bring the dog for say 15 minutes to the venue for intimate photos with mum and dad. Obviously the dog's comfortable with their owners, comfortable with us, and so you can have as much or as less. So you can have the whole shebang, 12 hours, 14 hours, or you can just have a few hours, or even just 15 minutes at the venue. It's all about the dog's temperament, and it's all, like I say, it's all about the dog at the end of the day.
So we've talked about, various changes there, even the popularity from what you've seen from when you started, obviously while you started the business, of people having their pets, their dogs at weddings. We've talked about, the different sort of venues, and now they've had to adapt as well to demand. Has there been any other changes as well that you've seen, that how people are maybe looking at their wedding a bit differently?
Yeah, so how planning a more greener wedding. Yeah, because you got to think about like sustainability, what carbon footprint you're putting out into the world. So like how far you travel to your wedding venue, how far your guests have got to travel, using more digital side, so doing like digital invitations, menu options, and just thinking. And then what I've noticed also, fresh flowers are, again, loads of people are not having, maybe in the bouquet okays, but their wedding venue is being decorated all with artificial, because again, that's just a reusable element of it. You've seen that a lot. Like venue dresses, they're more turning now to like artificial flowers, and you can get some spectacular ones, so real as well.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think people are now? I know sustainability, has been quite a hot topic in various different industries, for several years now, and we're hearing it more and more. We've had several people here on Business Spotlight who've talked about different aspects of sustainability. But until I've spoken to you, I've never even thought about, to be honest, at a wedding. But why do you think now the wedding sort of industry is taking more of a notice, should I say, or even those who are getting married are having it more at the fore of their mindset?
I think also it's the generation. A lot more people are now understanding more about sustainability, and it's talked about more than when I got married 8 years ago. But also it's about the cost element, I think, as well. Okay. So instead of getting someone design invitations, then you've got to write them all out, for example, then you've got to post them all, so that's a cost. Then people have got to post them back, or maybe you could use WhatsApp or whatever, but then there's a massive carbon and cost where you could just do it all digital, just a very create a quick website, and I think it's a cost as well as people, like I said, the generations that are getting married, say in the 20s and the 30s, it's more talked about now, and people do want to try the best for the environment.
And mentioning cost even there as well, we've again, cost of living's been in the news again for how long, and in different ways as well. And also maybe people either, trying to buy their own house, maybe putting that first instead of getting married. Yeah. So I suppose all them, they will have that knock-on effect as well, will they, when someone's considering, what to do.
Again, a massive, where when first started, we used to never have a weekend off all year. But now we seem to have more weekends back, and we were like, what do we do? Because everybody wants to get married, say Monday to Thursday, because it is a lot of thousands of pounds cheaper, but also spring, autumn, winter weddings. Again, like weather as well. Last July, we have one of the busiest months of the year, and every wedding was a washout. And it's again, you feel sorry for the couples. You feel it's really hard to keep the dogs so clean. They got to be immaculate for the wedding. But then you have weddings in October, and it was glorious. But that wedding in July probably could cost between £5,000-10,000 more than that wedding in October. So definitely weather trends, weather like global warming, and just cost of living. Like when you can have the same wedding, say £10,000 cheaper on a Tuesday in an October rather than a Saturday in a July. So people are definitely adapting to that concept.
Yeah, and I suppose again, just going back to the venues as well. I suppose you've seen again how they've had to adapt and maybe change their way of doing business as well because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you speak to some of the really big venues in this area that we're their recommended supplier for. And again, like this year, July, the 2 or 3 weddings, which has never been seen before. Again, these people just haven't got all them extra thousands to when it's exactly the same day. And also, really, it's about the couple. Yeah, it's fantastic to have these amazing weddings we attend to. But going back deep down to what a wedding's all about, it's them 2 people getting together, maybe having the fur baby there, as I said. And if they do it in October or Monday, and if people did want to come to that particular, it meant a lot to them, the guest, they would take that extra day's annual leave. And you're telling people 2 years in advance sometimes, so people can save that day, can't they, annual leave and whatnot, to really attend the wedding and being there for the couple.
Are you finding as well then people are spending more time in planning the wedding instead of it being like, say when we got married was 2010, I got that right? It took us 18 months before from engagement to actually getting married. Is things like that changed as well? Are people putting it off longer?
2 years, I'd say. Some people that we have been doing weddings for the last few months, people booked us 2 years ago. Yeah, and we always, our diary, we are doing like 2 years in advance. People are saying, have you got your diary open for 2027? What are we all doing in 2027? It's a long way. It isn't a long way in the wedding industry, but we just try to do 2 years and then have a wait list for 27, and then when we get to that point, we'll open it up. But yeah, 2 years roughly. But again, especially with mortgage costs, interest rates are going up. Yeah, and that's been another. When I've been working at wedding fairs as well recently. Dave said, we were getting married in 26, but there has been a knock-on effect. We are leaving it another year and doing it to 27. And that's where I can see 27 being a huge bumper year, because it is, like I said, it's about the engagement gap as well. Love wasn't created in COVID, but also cost of livings, interest rates have gone up. People have like end of a 2-year fixed when they first bought the house. Now, I know for a couple of like friends and customers, their mortgage has gone up by £800 a month.
Wow.
Well, and that's a hell of a lot of money that would go towards that wedding, where they've got to know, obviously it's just kind of like dead money because the interest rates have gone up. So
and changing times, we've talked about, again, just from when you started the business in 2018, the popularity of wedding, dogs being at weddings and different pets being at weddings. And we've talked about the different changes there, not just from a sustainability angle as well, how people view things differently, the cost, obviously, what days people are getting married. Can you foresee, I know you mentioned 2027, looking at that as being a big bumper year as well. Can you foresee any other changes or trends that are going to start coming through in the next 5 years?
Well, I can even see a major trend even starting next year. So the generations that are starting to get married, say in the 20s into the 30s, a lot of people want things more instantly. Okay, so you get married, you have a photographer. Okay, one of the most important and expensive elements of your day. Then maybe a videographer. If you've got the extra funds. But what's going to be a huge trend, especially for next year, is something called a wedding content creator.
Okay.
So this is where you go to a wedding and you literally film all behind the scenes with your iPhone, and you send all that raw footage to that couple the following day, so they can then relive their wedding instantly the following day and not wait 2 or 3, 4 months for the photographer. And that's why people love what we do, because we are like a wedding dog content creator, because we do all that already. We have for years, and then we send, and again, I film, like I said, loads of elements of the bride walking into the ceremony with the dog watching behind. Nobody's filming that, because the photographer and the videographer is at the front filming her walking in, and not all the behind the scenes. And this is what couples are wanting, especially more also to share on social media. They want something like they can put straight onto TikTok, and it's about, again, that just the times are changing, but also people are being more elaborate with entertainment as well, so bringing alpacas in for photo opportunities, magicians, there's again these type of things. Is spending more and more money on the quirky elements of it, and for entertainment as well as.
So it's almost like the wedding as well is becoming part of, because with people, if they're using social media and they use it for themselves as well quite a lot, it almost sounds like the wedding is becoming part of their own branding, which they can instantly just share out on, like you say, on TikTok.
And also like where you'd have like a guest book, and you'd have, and everyone just writes in lovely comments. Now guest books become video guest books. You've got audio guest books where you're talking to a telephone. Again, people want to instantly listen and see what people, instead of just sitting there reading it, and people want that instant as well, but more digital. It's a lot of weddings are going more digital, definitely. Just
one last question then, just to ask you on that, Emma, then, from your perspective, getting that sort of instant footage and that, raw footage, which is nothing wrong with that at all, getting raw footage or anything, but does that take away, and again, I'm just asking the question, does that take away any quality of what someone would usually expect from, whether, it's a photographer or a videographer or anything like that, or is it just different footage?
It's completely different. A photographer is there to get all the polished professional photos. The videographer is to film and create a documentary of the wedding. Wedding content creator, and what we do as in wedding dog content creator, is literally all that. It basically also is raw footage, but also that wedding can be unplugged. So brides and grooms aren't there, because you go into loads of ceremonies now. It's every ceremony the registrar has to tell everybody, put the phones away, turn the phones off, no photos, no footage. We've got a videographer, photographer, maybe now a wedding content creator. There's plenty of people there taking videos and footage, and they don't want, like, if you look back at your wedding photographs in your ceremony, you don't want everybody there with the phone covering your faces. activities. So it's about becoming loads of weddings are becoming unplugged as well. And also that wedding content creator, instead of all the everybody using the phones all day to film and take photos and do different things, they can just be a guest and enjoy the wedding, and then they'll see all the raw footage the following day. So completely different. Like I said, photographer is professional photos, a videographer is create a documentary, and the content creator creates just raw footage, that just behind the scenes that you see the following day. So 3 completely different.
Emma, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. That's Emma Cartlich here on Business Spotlight from Precious Pets Wedding with me, Sonia Farrell.
Business Spotlight, shining a light on our local business community. Brought to you by Cross Rhythms and Baba Baboon.